I didn't want to do it. I really didn't want to do it. But I'm going to do it anyway. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. Okay, stop the music. Oh, they already did. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. Before we get started, I'll say hello to a few people here. Max Del Rio is first today. Welcome, Max Del Rio. Thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all. Tyler F., All You Need, Smarty Bear, Blind Press, Ezoob, Sarah. We got a good start this morning. Hello, everybody. I'm sure more will trickle in as we continue our show. Please make sure you guys are the sponsors of my show. My sponsors do all the advertising, which means right down here on this side, there's the share button. Also, I've done my typical tweet. If you follow me on Twitter, you can retweet that, or you can just share on wherever you go on social media, just letting people know that I'm out here. I really appreciate you doing that. Also, as you know, I do have, the Streamlabs thing, since I'm not monetized, I do have the Streamlabs also down in the chat, down in the description, and Sarah puts it up for me every once in a while. You can do that too, but let me just, while I really appreciate people donating to the show, because that, it gives me all the incentive I need to continue. I love doing this either way. And so you guys come in all the time, hitting the like button, sharing this out, getting more people to join. That makes me happy too. One other thing about the super chat function. So the other day, it was a couple days ago, there was one particular super chat that I was reluctant to read. Part of it was because, just in a sense, I'm not going to say it offended me. I know it was just a joke, but it was also something that in the future, I probably won't read those type of super chats. I'll read parts of it, but just know that if you put something in there that I think is inappropriate, at least for my channel, not that you can't make jokes like that. I will never complain about people who make jokes, but if I think it's inappropriate for my channel and for my sensibilities, I will probably edit some of those. And if you decide that you don't want to, put that donation in, that's fine. I can always refund the donation if you want, but the jokes are cool. It's cool. So, but I'm just going to, I'm going to be a little more careful about that. There's a couple reasons for that. One, there are people who aren't going to understand the joke, and I don't want to sit there and explain it. I'm talking about people in my life that will see the show once in a while. And then also, just some things I just don't feel comfortable reading. And it's not about the swearing. It's not about anything. I'm fine with the jokes. Okay. So, but again, so just occasionally there's going to be a couple things that I may not read, just depending. I'm not one of those. I love edgy humor. Don't get me wrong, but I will be. I'll just do what I'm comfortable with. So don't take it as a personal slight. It's just how it's going to be. So that's how my channel runs. All right. Real quick. Plus a couple of other people showed up. Good morning, Festering Wound. Good morning, Blind Press. Good morning, Seamus Derby. I said your name right. See that? I got it like in my head now. I'm not going to mess that up again. And also, well, all you need, you were already here. So good. Hello, everybody. So I also said a couple days ago, or yesterday, I did my special stream yesterday where I said, since we spent the whole stream talking about a certain Jussie, as if there are a lot of Jussies in the world, I said I wasn't going to talk about Jussie today, but I just can't help myself. Now, I do notice as how I do Twitter trends every day, I do notice almost unbelievably, as I look at Twitter trends, Jussie Smollett is nowhere to be found. Now, I know, because I'm looking, they've got 40 Twitter trends up today. Nothing related to Jussie Smollett. Nothing related to Chicago, Rahm Emanuel, Kim Fox, any of the people involved in that whole thing. And yet, now I'm gonna do an experiment here, and I'm gonna let you. You can watch me do it. I'm gonna open Twitter here in a new tab, and in the search, we're gonna put the name Jussie Smollett. 2,360 tweets in the last hour. I'm stunned that it's not trending today. Now, this, I don't know how long they go back. Like, for example, Wednesday Wisdom, 69,400 tweets. Is that, I don't know. That's weird. That's weird, Oh, no. Oh, exclusive interview, Chicago mayor on the Jussie Smollett bombshell. We're gonna have to. I wasn't gonna do this, but there's just. I really didn't want it today. But as I did promise yesterday, I am gonna talk a little bit about the SPLC today. So I'm gonna make sure I monitor my time, make sure I know, I got to pay attention to the time so I have time to talk about that. And we'll get into Twitter trends today like we always do. But so the reason I brought this up, this morning, I work in the morning, and while I'm at work, I'm really able to, I'm able to listen to, I basically listen to YouTube while I'm working at UPS, and use that as my entertainment in the morning. So I can't interact with people, but I can always listen to things. And I got this. There was this video, the Adam Carolla show, and he's talking to Mark Garagos, because Adam Carolla does a show with Mark Garagos on the weekends. Can't remember what it's called. You'll hear the reference in here. And I was stunned at the part where they were talking about Jussie Smollett. And so I just had to show you this morning. It's unbelievable what they were saying. So let's just watch a little of this, and I'll comment as we go along. Let's hear. Now, I want to make sure.
Adam,
how are you, my friend?
I'm wonderful. How about you?
I'm well. So obviously you're all over the for what you can speak on.
Jussie, because I'm so
on the Jussie Smollett thing. Now, I'll just ask you about the Smollett, and you tell me what you know or what you can speak on.
I'll start with Jussie because I'm so irate about.
Okay, now remember, Mark Garagos is part of the law team working for Jussie Smollett. Now, he had two other lawyers with him yesterday. And I don't know if Mark Garagos stayed in the case, but I know he was involved with it at first. And then it went over to this other famous Chicago lawyer, probably recommended by the Obamas, a friend of theirs. I don't know, but whatever. Let's continue here.
Somebody just sent me the link to Rahm Emanuel's press conference, which was an outrage. I mean, the state's attorney stood up and dismissed today 16 counts. This guy,
Sarah, your question. Oh, okay. I thought it was Jussie's lawyer. I think he's still part of the legal team, and he's still there's three attorneys, and I don't know if Garagos is part of the team or the lead or whatever, but he is still part of the team. But somehow the other two lawyers handled yesterday.
Hard to understand how somebody in Chicago could be railing.
By the way, I know I cut this off at just the most inopportune time. I just want to let you know that I needed the industrial size cup of reparations coffee today. I got the Bubba cup going. I got my Bubba cup because I really needed this today. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to boom it back so you can hear what Garagos said here. This is incredible to me. Okay, back to Garagos.
You know, it's hard to understand how somebody in Chicago could be railing at the top of his lungs at the state's attorney when he and the police chief are an abomination to begin with, and he's worried about the state's attorney doing what they thought was the right thing.
Okay. Yes, the city of Chicago is a corrupt pile of dog poo. However, the city of Chicago is also trying to clean up their reputation. And in this case, when they thought it was a hate crime, they put a shit ton of investigators on the case. And everyone was happy until the story began to unravel. So, and thank you. I got a new subscriber. Hey, let's see who that is. I have a new subscriber, and that would be Smiley. Thank you, Smiley. I welcome to the show if you're here still, and say hi to everyone in the chat. All right, here we go.
I would just venture to say I don't think the police chief is long for his job. Is my humble opinion.
Well, he can get back to his first love, ultra marathoning. So,
now let's remember. Now, Corolla is hello, Festering Moon, hello, Maniac Man, hello, RJ Bansma, and Stargazer Knights. Welcome. I know you're here. Now remember, Corolla and Garagos are friends, but Corolla also has been laughing about the whole Jussie Smollett case. He's back when it was still prominent in the news every day. Okay, here we go.
It's just astonishing. Everything that he said at that press conference, demonstrably true. There wasn't even any credible basis for it in the discovery. I mean, it was so divorced from reality. I don't even know where to begin.
Well,
there was plenty of evidence. They've showed the video of the brothers buying things at the store. They got all kinds of things. They got phone calls. They got the phone calls to the Orasana, whatever the hell their name is, brothers before and after the supposed attack. They got the Google records. They got the Uber records. They got everything. So this guy's just playing it off like Jussie's an angel.
And when somebody takes a sober look at it and understands that in all probability, this looked to be something where somebody got out ahead of their skis and forgot about the first rule of a criminal case is you need corroboration for somebody supposedly telling you a story. And, it was what I was complaining about early on, and it came to pass.
Well, Mark, everyone is asking what happened, why did they drop it? So, as succinctly as possible,
this will be good.
Why did they drop this case?
Well, in my humble opinion, I don't ever speculate on prosecutorial motives or anything else, but the discovery was turned over, and the discovery, in my humble opinion, did not support their theory, number one. And certainly.
Wait a minute, hold on. Their theory, remember, it was not the state's attorneys who brought forth the charges. It was a grand jury that saw tons of evidence. So it wasn't like they just charged him without a grand jury and changed their mind. The grand jury indicted Jussie Smollett. So now you've had a grand jury that's been has deliberated on this, recommended the charges, and you just drop it? You pleaded it out. That's the thing. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's keep going here.
He did not support from an evidentiary basis.
On an on an evidentiary basis. So, and also they said, you know, in the police press conference when they charged him, that the evidence that we've seen so far was just a very small portion of that evidence. It's okay. Come on.
The idea that he engineered this, everything that was contained in this discovery, to the extent that I can talk about it, supported.
Well, it's great you can talk about it because the judge sealed all the evidence, so now nobody else could see it. Isn't that convenient? Man, when you have friends in high places, it's amazing what you can get away with. This is not white privilege. This is not black privilege. This isn't gay privilege. This is, I've got friends in high places and they pay my jury and wipe our faces in all this shit. I can't stand it. That's my best Garth Brooks imitation.
What I said early on, they've got a whale of a case against the two guys, but that's it.
So I think most folks, just taking a cursory glance at this, assume that the outcome of the actual events remain the same, meaning Jussie Smollett colluded with these guys and sort of cooked this thing, but the police force screwed it up so badly in the process of trying to prove that they had to drop it.
Now, I don't know why I guess Adam's trying to give Mark Garagos out here, not necessarily the police and not necessarily the state's attorney. Look, if in Jussie's interview yesterday, or not interview, excuse me, he didn't do an interview. He made a statement. In a statement, he said he'd been telling the truth the whole time, blah, blah, blah. But if you were telling the truth the whole time and were innocent, then you wouldn't, why would these, and the state's attorney said this, that, you know what, he would have been charged with community service and he would have lost his bond. That would have happened anyway. So we thought, you know what, he's already done some community service, which is a joke. He's already done some community service and we're going to forfeit the bond. So it's the same result. Meaning that the state's attorney negotiated it away, and that was the deal. So he was guilty of it, so they'll drop the charges since he already did the punishment. That's the only way you can interpret it. If he's telling the truth and was innocent, you would want to go to trial and be proven because you would be innocent. Right? Or he would at least want, now, you know, someone made the joke yesterday, well, maybe he'll write a book kind of like OJ, or make a statement that, you know what, we want the real attackers found and prosecuted. Well, we already know who the real attackers are. Oh my God. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's listen to Garagos' answer to this, because Carolla just said that, you know, here's what, you know, they said this has all happened. He conspired and blah, blah, blah. But since he did this community service, that is going to be a wash. Now listen to what listen to what Mark Garagos says about this. This is a joke. Hi, Max Del Rio. You were here you're the first one here. Never mind. Well, hi again. Listen to this.
I don't think that's the case, because I think that if that had been the case, they never would have dropped it. I think they came to the realization that this thing was cooked up while two people were sitting in custody, and then they got way out over their skis.
Oh, so Mark Garagos believes that the Osenderos actually did this? Is that what Mark Garagos is saying? Wait a minute. So So, do y'all think that's what he's saying? Because are we talking about? Are we talking about? Let me think about that for a second. So he thinks that I'm sorry. I'm trying to piece this in my mind. He thinks that this dude in the white right here, beating the hell out of this dude, actually punched Jussie Smollett in the face, and Jussie Smollett did himself knock the fuck out. This guy right here in the white. Watch this. Bam! Bam! What was Jussie's story? That the guy saw him and said, "Oh, hey, Empire." And I don't answer the name Empire. I don't answer that. And then he said, You're that Empire nigger, like it. And it's punched him in the face. And then Jussie said, I punched him the hell back. Remember Gay Tupac? Gay Tupac took a punch from this dude who is right now, he's in the finals of the Illinois Golden Gloves boxing. This dude, bam, bam, punched Jussie Smollett in the face like cold, because the way Jussie tells it, the dude just cold cocked him for no reason. That dude cold cocked Jussie Smollett, and Jussie Smollett didn't get put down in the first punch. I showed this fight yesterday.
So
I honestly do not believe that he had anything to do with it whatsoever.
So you believe, I mean, I shouldn't say believe, it's your understanding that the two brothers did this on their own?
Correct.
And
but wait, whoa. So the brothers, because Jussie says he was truthful and consistent throughout this ordeal. So the two brothers of Nigerian descent, now, because he says, at some point, he says those are the attackers, but so he didn't recognize the dudes. I mean, so the two brothers of Nigerian descent were wearing masks, ski masks, and were walking around waiting for him in Chicago after they just happened to talk to him an hour earlier on the phone. Okay. And they ran down to Chicago and waited for him outside his apartment or whatever he lived down there. And then they yelled, "Hey, Empire." And he didn't recognize their voices, even though he trains with them and wrote him a check for training. So at some point he had to have met them because he wrote them a check for training. But these are the guys who attacked him, right? The guys who attacked him had already knew him, yelled Empire, and he didn't answer to Empire. And then they said, "Empire, nigger faggot." And then he punched the Golden Gloves boxer, who's in the finalist of the Illinois Golden Gloves, punched him in the face. He didn't go down, and he punched him the hell back. And then they got in this fight, and then they were on the ground. And then the other brother, who's a bodybuilder, was kicking him in the back. And the other brother put a rope around his neck, and somehow he got bleach on him. But then it all just stopped, and the two guys ran away. They just ran away. They just poof, run. It just stopped. And they ran away. And he didn't really have any injuries because the hospital said he didn't have any injuries. He was bruised, whatever. There was no, but then somehow in his mind, he heard the two brothers of Americans of Nigerian descent yell, "This is MAGA country, nigga." Of course, the original story said it when they run away, but him being truthful and consistent, when he interviews with Robin Roberts, he said that they said it before he punched him. So that's That's consistent. That's consistent. Hello, Functional. How you doing? Nice to have you back. Welcome again. You know, the stream gets a little bigger every time we do this. I'm enjoying this. Thank you so much for coming back. I'm glad I'm entertaining. He says, I love story time with P-Dog. Yes, it's story time with P-Dog. Mark Garagos.
That's why they dropped it.
Correct.
Now,
what did Adam say there? I forgot.
That he had anything to do with it whatsoever.
So you believe, I mean, it's your, I shouldn't say believe. It's your.
See what Adam did there? See what Adam did there? He gave him an out because, and they're going to, this is a little bit of a preview, but they're going to be talking about this on Saturday too. So I can't wait. Sometimes I listen to Adam. Adam's kind of a funny dude. I like Adam, but he does this show with Garagos, and they're going to talk about this on Saturday, and I can't wait to watch that show. I would love to even maybe stream during that show. I don't know what time they do it. I'll have to find out. But anyway, so okay, listen to this again.
Understanding that the two brothers did this on their own.
Correct.
And that's why they dropped it.
Correct.
Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to convince most of America.
You're damn right, you're not.
I get that. I mean,
you're damn right. You're not going to be able to convince the rest of America. The rest of America already knows what this is. It's funny. There are people who are defending him on Twitter. It's few and far between, but they're hilarious. But anyway.
What was so infuriating about this thing is that there was a certain tax that was taken initially. I mean, I'm getting emails and tweets where people are so convinced of it, not having ever seen any evidence or anything else.
Because the story was stupid, Mark.
Not looking at one single piece of evidence, but just based on press conferences that they've worked themselves up into a lab.
No, Mr. Garagos. Not based on press conferences. See, some of the evidence, Mark, is already out there. Also, Jussie did a crazy nut job of an interview with Robin Roberts. And all the tells of that you spot a liar are there. And now remember, y'all, in fact, I may put this in this description later too. I'll add it to the description. There's this what's her name? Let me check it. What's her name again? Her name is Janine Driver. And she has this series called Celebrity Lie Detector Analysis. She's the Celebrity Lie Detector. And she does a Jussie lie detection analysis. It's a 4-part series, but she does a 1-part. I'll find the there's one that is strictly one video. You could watch it. It's amazing because she gets baseline. She does the whole. If you ever want to learn about how to read people and whether or not they're being honest or not, she's really good at teaching that. And so I'll link that 4-part series when we go back in the description. All right, let's finish this half of the video because half it's about anyway. Yeah, Garagos does have his own problems, and they're talking about that a little too. He does make okay. Maybe if you want to hear about his own legal problems, we'll go through this whole video. So let's go on.
What is in it for the two brothers then? Were they just thugs roaming the streets with the bleach and a noose?
I have a very speculative theory, because I've never met them. But based on what I do know, I've got a theory which will be unveiled on Reasonable Doubt, which will drop this Saturday.
That's their show called Reasonable Doubts. Hello, Sean DW. Hello, Green Badger Logic. Nice to see you here. We're just going over this little video with Adam Carolla and Mark Garagos, who's talking about Jussie Smollett, where Mark Garagos is just, Mark Garagos is one of the lawyers related to the Jussie Smollett case, and he's just basically what's a good word for it? He's talking through his ass right now. But anyway. But so what do they say? Reasonable doubt. That's the show.
That is a huge tease.
I shall be all ears, but I hope you know, as per usual, I will have to ask you the medium to softball questions.
Yes.
Real quick, now, I mean, not real quick, but I was marveling at the beginning of the show that Avenatti's bond was $300,000.
Okay, so now he's getting to talking about Avenatti. Do y'all want to hear this? Put a 1 if you want to hear it. Put a 2 if you don't. I think it's interesting, but Pirate Pete, what's up, my brother? If you want to hear about his a little bit about his Avenatti troubles, we'll listen to that too, and we can talk about that a little bit. But that's 2 votes. Well, okay. Well, anybody? Yo. Okay, well, you know what? Here, I'll give you a teaser on this, and then we'll get away because it's half and half so far. 2 votes. All right.
$1,000, and Lori Laughlin's bond was $1 million. Is there any light you could shed on that?
Comment on that. I'm more, and I maybe on reasonable doubt. By then, I'll also talk about that as well.
I think he says something about Jussie here first.
As far as Avenatti and that case and what happened yesterday, I can't get into it yet, but maybe by Saturday I will.
Do you feel secure?
Okay. All right. We're not going to go into that, but anyway, he says later in here. It's interesting that, so this was just announced. The Avenatti thing was just announced. I think it was Saturday, Friday, or Saturday, whatever. And CNN dumped Garagos like, bing, he is gone. He was gone so fast. There's not been a trial. There's not been anything. In fact, well, I don't know. It was amazing at how quickly CNN dumped him. And so he talks about that a little. I'll link this video later too, also in the description. If you want to watch the rest of it, it's only a total of 13 minutes. Pretty good video, and it's interesting, but it's not what I'm here to talk about today. Yeah, Avenatti's a joke. He is digging his own grave. Ain't that the truth? So, all right. So that's my Jussie update. There is also this interview with Rahm Emanuel on Good Morning America this morning. Here, let me go. Okay, thank you. And thank you, Tyler F., for tweeting out the show. I appreciate that. Anyone else who shared it, thank you very much. Again, the Morning Night Live is sponsored by you. Right down there, share out the show. That's my only form of advertising is word of mouth. And also, my Twitter feed too. And then also, if you so inclined, we do super chats via Streamlabs down in the description below, or every once in a while you'll see it's in the chat. Thanks for everyone who donates. Thanks for everybody who watched. Thanks to everybody who comes back. I'm glad that I am here to entertain you during the weekdays. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT for those who are not in this part of the world. Okay, back to I will check out Rahm's interview on Good Morning America this morning. I have not seen this, and I don't know if this is the entire interview or not. But let's see. Okay, let's just watch this though. Let me open this window, pop that open. Can y'all see Rahm there? Here we go. Bam. Let's just watch this 3-minute interview. Here we go.
Well, that's for others. Look, here's what I do know. You have the state's attorney's office saying he's not exonerated. He actually did commit this hoax. He's saying he's innocent, and his...
That's an interesting thing too. Yeah, the state's attorney says this is not an exoneration. This is it's not a hoax, or it's not he did the hoax. It's real. We're just making a deal here. Keeping his record clean. Hello, Necrosaw Collins. Keeping his record clean. That's all we're doing. And then Jussie comes out saying, this is, I've been truthful and consistent all along. That's not, I don't know. I'm in that Bill Clinton voice again. I just don't know why. I never had sex with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Yeah, I did. Anyway, Here we go.
Words are true. They better get their story straight, because this is actually making a fools of all of us. You know, all over the city of Chicago, George, there are signs on front yards and windows that say, hate has no home here. He turned those values upside down and inside out.
A lot of people wonder.
He abused the city of Chicago. He abused the city of Chicago. He actually committed a crime here. He lied about something. And remember, the grand jury indicted him when only seeing a portion of the evidence. And he said he wanted to get his name clear.
Yeah, that's the other thing. All the evidence that the police chief talked about in the initial press conference, that was only a small part of the evidence they have. Like I said, they have Uber records, they have phone call records, they got all kinds of. Here's the other thing: he's not out of jeopardy by any stretch of the imagination. The federal case against him is still going, and now that the state's attorney has done nothing, there are certain federal charges besides the mail, the mail extortion, whatever they call it, the terrorist threats through the mail that they can get him on. But that's a huge one. Even if he sent it to himself, if you send a mail threat with white powder, you're still terrorizing the people who are getting that mail. Anyway, let's hear the rest of Rahm Emanuel, and then we'll move on.
That is what I want for him. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's find out what happened. He violated every principle, and especially a city that embraced not only him as an actor, but more importantly, the values of being able, whoever you are, whoever you love, whatever your background is, you have a home here. He took that, turned it around, and tried to self-promote himself. And the fact is, he's walking around with no sense of contrition, no sense of remorse. And the fact is also, the state's attorney is saying he's actually guilty of this hoax. He's walking around saying, no, I'm innocent.
And you say we have to get
to true.
You say
one is right and one is wrong.
Now, let me tell you my only concern. Now, Rahm Emanuel seems righteously indignant, and I am glad that he is. But there's always that little thing in the back of my mind. That little thing, because remember, if you were here yesterday, you know that I think her name's, what's her name? Something Chen. She was Michelle Obama's chief of staff, which I don't even know why Michelle Obama has a chief of staff, but or maybe it's her press secretary. I don't know. She's Michelle Obama's, one of her right-hand people. And Chen contacted the state's attorney's office and talked to Kim, what's her name? Something Kim. Kim Wood, I don't know. Anyway, the person who's the person who's charged, who recused herself. Now, so obviously there's some connection there, because Michelle Obama's friend was Jussie Smollett. This Chen person contacts this Kim person. And, you know, they somehow he gets this little sweet deal. And Rahm Emanuel, y'all know who Rahm Emanuel is, right? Like what he did before he was mayor of Chicago. He was President Obama's chief of staff. So I just the little cynical, speaking of cynical, hello, cynical Lindsay. Hello. And, yeah, okay. Just the little cynical part of me goes, could it be that Rahm Emanuel had something to do with this too? Because Jussie's friends with the Obamas and I don't want to, that's, I'm going full Alex Jones today, people. Full Alex Jones. No, I'm not. Rahm Emanuel seems really pissed, and clearly the chief of police, the dude from what's his name, Johnson, he's pissed off too. So I feel like, I feel like Rahm is being genuine here. Hi, Irish Rose. I'm so happy you're here. All right, let's finish Rahm Emanuel as I keep cutting him off.
Say we have to get to the bottom of this, and that's exactly what I'm asking you. Is there any recourse now? Is an investigation warranted? How are we going to get to the bottom of this?
Good question, George.
That is a fair question, because right now, you're saying it on two questions, actually. One is, given that all the documents are sealed and only a portion of it was shown to the grand jury in which they indicted him, I would love to have everything that the Chicago Police Department collected and gathered to actually come to the conclusion, make all of that available. I would love for that to happen.
On that note, too, I'm curious. So the judge sealed the evidence, but there's still a federal investigation. Now, here's the other thing, too. So now, since the state did not charge Jussie Smollett, but during the investigation into the letter that was sent to the Empire Studios that they think he was involved with and the Osendaro brothers are involved with, the FBI, that's the Chen woman, asked Kim Wood, that's her name, asked her to get the FBI involved in the attack investigation, which the Chicago police led. And so 3 days into that, the FBI did get involved with that. And so they're kind of cooperating on both investigations. The Chicago police took charge of the hate crime. You see what I'm really emphasizing these. The hate crime hoax, which wasn't a hoax at the first, it was an actual investigation. And then the Chicago police were cooperating with the FBI on the letter hoax. Well, now since the state's attorney didn't charge Smollett, I think the FBI now can also maybe get Smollett for perjury if he answered questions to the FBI concerning the attack. So can the FBI broaden their scope? But all the evidence is sealed by a judge. So how does that work? This is again, one of my nicknames on the internet is Lawyer Dog. And I'm not a lawyer, but sometimes I play one on the internet. And my lawyer mind is just saying, okay, can the FBI subpoena sealed documents from the state case or subpoena evidence from the state case? Interesting little interesting question there. How powerful are Jussie's connections? Anyway, come on.
Second is, how did all of a sudden, the second part of your question is, how did all of a sudden this reverse out of nowhere, like a bolt of lightning hit, where all of a sudden 2 days at Operation Push counts as, in fact, your community service? How did he make it?
Yeah, his community service was at Operation Push. Jesse Jackson's. It's Jesse Jackson organization. Operation Push is a nonprofit. I kind of use that word loosely. They've had their problems, and Jesse Jackson's had his problems with his fundraising and stuff. But hi MC, good to see you. Anyway, Jussie Smollett did a total of, I think, 16 hours, 2 days. No, 18 hours. She did 2 days, 2 9-hour days at Operation Push. Stuffing envelopes, helping them talk about how they were going to have a choir, and reviewing some video presentations for them as a professional. So that's his whole 18 hours of community service makes up for probably $7,000 to 8,000 man hours of police work that the Chicago Police Department did. But hey, just that and giving up your $10,000 fine. But hey, what innocent person would do that? What innocent person would have to plea bargain away some charges for some community service if he didn't do it? Just got you thinking, right? Just got you thinking.
Decision to drop all these charges when they literally taking the hate crime laws that exist on the books that reflect our values and inverting them to actually self-promote yourself for your own personal enrichment. And then all of a sudden, with nobody's consultation, no discussion of what it would mean, what message it would send, what does it say about the law? You drop it.
Well, explain that to us.
That's
How
a
is that
second part
possible?
of it.
That's
So
what
the
people...
first part, I want to get to the bottom. Did he commit this hoax? That is the question that has to first be answered. The second question is, what happened here that allowed the state's attorney's office that was in the room with the police department when they decided to actually bring the charges to the grand jury that actually brought the indictments? What made them all of a sudden say, you know what, on second thought, this is enough?
Do you think it was a corrupt decision?
Question, and that's for the legal experts. You have a lot of more legal experts there about why, in fact, that came about.
Yeah, do you think this was a corrupt decision? Chat, if you think it was a corrupt decision, put a big fat C in the chat. Oh my goodness. I did not want to get into this today. I really wanted to do something else. I just, you know what? I don't know what this meme is or what they're doing here, but someone says, I think Americans want to know if people running Chicago are corrupt. Yeah, there's plenty of C's in the chat. Oh, you and Lindsay put the entire C in the chat, the whole wave of C's. I didn't mean the C, S-E-A. I meant a big fat capital C, letter C, but that's even better, Lindsay. That is awesome. So anyway, this tweet here, Turn Back Time, says, I think Americans want to know if the people running Chicago are corrupt. This Jussie Smollett case smells like a football field of shit, and she puts this up. What is this saying?
I who lived a criminal life. I'm not a guy who lived a criminal life. I'm not a guy who lived a criminal life.
All right, she puts the little OJ meme up there. Oh my gosh. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. National Review has an article called The Connection Between Jussie Smollett and the Obama Administration. Dropping Jussie Smollett's charges is a clear whitewashing of justice, according to Rahm Emanuel. Why is everyone so upset about Jussie Smollett getting away with the Jussie Smollett hoax? He ticks all the boxes. He's arrogant enough to think everyone will believe his shitty fake hate crime, uses identity politics, suffers from real Donald Trump derangement syndrome. Yes, he does. Who's this? Kevin Graham. Fox spoke with Chicago Fraternal Order of Police President Kevin Graham as Chicago prosecutors face backlash for dropping all the charges against Jussie Smollett. Yeah, they're calling for a federal investigation into this matter. And I got a feeling there's going to be, I don't know. Let's hear this guy. Hang on. Let me get him wide, open up wide here so we can see him. Not that you wouldn't have been able to see him anyway, but I'm going to make it easier and easier. Let's hear this guy. He's the Chicago Fraternal Order of Police president.
You have to remember that Mr. Smollett claimed that there was a letter, threatening letter sent to him. And so that is under the jurisdiction of the federal government. And so certainly charges could be brought by federal authorities in this matter, and we are hoping that that occurs. We also think that it's unprecedented to seal the case so that nobody can find out what occurred.
Yeah, that part pisses me off. That's the friends in high places thing. And that's the celebrity privilege, money privilege. It's celebrity privilege. That's why, what's her face? Jenner. I'm trying not to dead name Jenner. What the hell's Jenner's name? What did Jenner change the name to? Why am I blanking out on this? Help me out, chat. Jenner. No. Functional. I'm trying not to call. I'm not. Caitlyn. Caitlyn. That's why Caitlyn Jenner didn't go to jail for killing somebody in a car crash. Celebrity privilege. Celebrity privilege. By the way, hi, check your logic. Smarty Bear, you just got here too. You know what? Hey, y'all, I am so happy that you're here, especially those people who are in the background that maybe can't be in the chat because they're working or driving or whatever you're doing. But hey, a nice sized audience today. All right, let's go back to the Fraternal Order of Police President of Chicago.
We certainly are shocked by it. I've seen this occur sometimes in juvenile cases when we're trying to protect the identity of children.
Yeah, who the hell are we
but I have
protecting?
never
Hi,
seen
festering wound.
the set of circumstances that have presented themselves yesterday ever before in all my years of police work.
There's been a significant cost to the city of Chicago, near and dear to both of our hearts, both in terms of resources, time away from other crimes that would have been taking place during the hours of investigations that followed.
That is a good point, Necrosaw Colin. He was still Bruce when he killed them. That is true. That is true. But then Bruce became Caitlin, and they exonerated Caitlin for the issue. You know what? There's a whole rainbow of privilege there. For lack of a better term, here we go.
Followed this first report of the alleged hoax. What has this cost the city, both in monetary and reputation?
Well, you know what? First of all, monetarily, it's somewhere over $100,000.
Wow, that seems low. You had 14 detectives working on this for almost 2 weeks. Yeah, maybe. Okay, maybe that's about right. I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot of time spent, and they pulled people from other departments because they didn't want to take away from the places that really needed attention, like all the murders happening in Chicago during that same amount of time.
Where it is, I couldn't tell you exactly. I can tell you this, that the detectives that work this case are a little frustrated because they knock themselves out. When our detectives go out, they will go for 24 hours, sometimes longer, without sleeping, without eating, to try and get to the bottom of the case and bring justice to either the victim or the people.
All right. Now, brother, I was with you until you said what you just said. Necro. Okay, Necro. I'll call you Necro. Necro, please. Yeah, they don't go without sleep. They might go without some sleep, but they ain't going without eating. Look at this brother. Look at this dude. Come on now. They ain't going without eating. They stopping for a donut or a oh, it's Chicago. No, they're stopping for a hot Italian beef sandwich. Y'all ever had a hot Italian beef sandwich in Chicago? Oh my gosh, those are so good. There's a place down by the University of Chicago that the Chicago style Italian beef. You got to try that sometime. That's some good stuff, man. No, I'm not shaming him. I'm just saying he ain't missing that brother ain't missing no meals. Come on now. All right, I'm sorry. Let's go.
People of the city of Chicago, and they were told their efforts didn't matter. They were told.
Okay, I'm gonna say this because someone said no. If you ever in Chicago, I have to look it up. The original place is the best, but there's also a place called Zippy's that's out in the western suburbs, where you get a hot Italian beef. We call it a cheesy beef. It's a hot Italian beef sandwich. What it is, they marinate the beef, like the sliced roast beef, in this Italian dressing sauce or whatever, and then they pile that onto just like a hoagie bun, and sometimes they'll put cheese on it, but they'll put the hot giardiniera peppers on it. Oh my gosh, those are good. In fact, there's a place in the Twin Cities that makes them now, but still, the original place down in Chicago, I can't remember the name of it though, but also Zippy's, man. There's a place called Zippy's in the Chicagoland area, western suburbs. It's fantastic. Anyway, my mouth's watering. Here, I'm gonna. Oh, by the way, for those who just got here, I do have my reparations coffee in hand. I needed a whole Bubba cup of it today, though, because it's just one of those days. All right.
We're going to slap this guy on the wrist, and we don't care how hard you worked. And that's wrong. That's wrong.
The
These
police
guys
are pissed.
work hard. These men and women of the police
The
department
police
deserve
are
better than how they were
pissed
treated.
off.
I also
and
don't think that
they
it's necessarily
should
a
be.
black eye on the city. I think the fact that we worked so hard to try and look for somebody who was clearly not there says a lot about the integrity of the city and our police officers.
Johnny Hellcat, how you doing, man? Hey, yeah, you know, they are not happy. All right, I'm gonna pivot now. Oh, yeah, you know, the Empire writers. Let's see what these morons say. Yeah, see y'all Wednesday. Empire Fox. They're excited that they dropped the charges. You know, there's still going to be some people on that set who are not happy with Jussie, and they know he lied. They all have to know that Jussie lied his ass off. You got to know. The writers probably all love him, but I don't care. I don't care. I just do not care. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. I'm curious as to what CWB Chicago is saying by that was fast. Stand by. Oh, and this was 20, how long ago was this? This was 24 minutes ago. Let's see if we can find out what CW. Oh, look at this. Exclusive. Complete Chicago police investigative file of Jussie Smollett's case is now posted. Please credit CWB Chicago for our work. Here's the link, the case file. You got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. You know what's funny? Yeah, remember this is supposed to be sealed? Somebody already leaked it. Like I said yesterday, man. I said, you know what? Yeah, this evidence is sealed. Everything's supposed to be sealed on this case, but oh, this is a response to a FOIA request. Okay, so this is something they have to do anyway. Open that link. The complete file. You know what? I'm not going to go through this today. I'm going to look through it first, and then we're going to come back. Maybe we'll get into this tomorrow. But I am, ooh, damn. So CWB Chicago. It's called the Crime Watch blog of Chicago, and that's where I started. That's where I first went to get information on the case, and then I also went to Rafer Weigel and Rob Elgas one's from Fox News 32 and one's from ABC 7 Chicago. And they were my favorite sources for anything covering Jussie the first week. And then finally some of the national news had to, well, Twitter helped a lot, but these three sources were my favorite. And Chicago Crime Watch blog, basically they're almost exclusive to that north side of Chicago. So they really know everything going on there. CWP Chicago is posting the complete Chicago Police Department investigative file of the Jussie Smollett hate crime investigation that we have received in response to a Freedom of Information Act request. They did not mess around getting that to them. We have not read or reviewed the files for completeness or accuracy. These files that were provided by the Chicago Police Department in response to a FOIA request that CWB Chicago submitted upon learning that the Cook County State's Attorney's Office has reached a sealed agreement to resolve Smollett's criminal exposure case. Ooh, man. Am I going to have to stream again this afternoon? I might have to. How long is this thing? Okay, this is 39 pages, the first half. And the second half is another 22 pages. So I'm not getting into this right now. I may have to print this out, though, and read a little bit before this will be good. This will be interesting. I've never actually seen an official police report file. Smarty Bear, love you. We'll see you later. Thank you very much for being here. And everyone else who's here, Johnny Hellcat, did I say hello? I think I did. Oh, yeah, right when I got done with that thing. All right, so we'll get into that later. CWB Chicago is awesome. All right. I've spent... Are you kidding me? I've spent this much time on Jussie. I wasn't going to talk to him at all. I wasn't going to talk about Jussie today. Jussie. Oh, man. We might do another show this afternoon. I'll see. I had laundry to do. All right. Let's step away from Jussie. Step away from the light. Step away from the light, Coach. Coach, that's another nickname I got. But P-Dog, step away from the light. All right, I'm going to get into this real quick. What I really intended to talk about today was some troubles at the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center. And as you remember, we talked a little bit about Morris Dees, who was fired from the SPLC because apparently, well, they kind of made it, they made the whole thing pretty cryptic. They didn't really say what happened, but there was some issues, possible sexual harassment issues, possible discrimination issues, things that you wouldn't expect from a place that does nothing but talk about discrimination and hate. And, well, I can't even finish that sentence, because really what the Southern Poverty Law Center has become, well, we're finding out that it was really, it was a money-making machine, okay? And I kind of mentioned this, I was talking about this a few weeks ago because I was talking about grievance grifters, one of my favorite topics. And I wish that I think I'm the only one who says that on a regular basis. It's one of my favorite phrases for people who use grievance to enrich themselves. And one of my favorite examples is DeRay McKesson. Because during all the Black Lives Matters issues, especially around St. Louis, Missouri, when Michael Brown was shot, and they had all the turmoil down there, the riots and the protests and the police, and I kind of put those in two categories, because there were protests and then there were riots, and I don't necessarily say that they were all one thing, but DeRay McKesson went down and made his name in St. Louis, Missouri. And he was able to make a lot of money and gain a lot of notoriety for his work down there. But if you go down there now and you talk to the activists who live in St. Louis, or in fact, well, the last time DeRay McKesson tried to go to St. Louis was about 6 months ago. And the actual people who live in St. Louis, who are serious about trying to make things better for people down there, the actual activists who are trying to help people, they can't stand DeRay McKesson. They booed him off the stage when he came down there to speak the last time, and mainly because DeRay McKesson is about DeRay McKesson. He's a grievance grifter. He makes money off of being famous for his activism. Okay, versus the people who are actually on the ground, who are from the places that he goes, that are the ones who really, really want to make things better. And there are people who want to make things better in these places. It's not all about the grievance. It's about trying to make things better for people. And I get it. There are issues that are real that people need to address. Well, the SPLC, has fired Morris Dees, if you were familiar, knew that. And also recently, the president of the SPLC has resigned. Okay, so now this is a Daily Caller article, and Daily Caller is more on the right than the left, which I always try to tell you where the places are coming from, but it doesn't matter. The Daily Caller News Foundation is pretty good. Why are all these messages being disappeared? Message redact. What message redacted? Message has disappeared. Message deemed inappropriate. Are y'all doing that on? Or what is that? Who's? Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Are you guys writing that yourself, or is that actually showing up in the chat that way? I've never seen that before. Here, let me look up in here. Are y'all just messing around with me right now? Okay, Johnny Hellcat. What? Okay. Some of you are doing this funny, and some of you are retracting. Okay, you Message blocked by Article 13. Oh, man, I thought, what the hell's going on here? What do you... All right, that's some funny shit. That's funny. Okay, y'all are hilarious. Y'all are hilarious. All right, let's get into this article here from Daily Caller. That's awesome. All right, SPLC President Richard Cohen resigns from embattled left-wing nonprofit. Now, this happened a few days ago, but I want to get caught up in this. Southern Poverty Law Center President Richard Cohen resigned Friday in the latest blow to the embattled left-wing nonprofit. Cohen's resignation came 9 days after the SPLC co-founder Morris Dees citing unspecific conduct issues. Cohen announced his resignation in a staff-wide email Friday evening. The Los Angeles Times reported, "What problems exist at the SPLC happened on my watch, so I take responsibility for them." Cohen's email read, according to the Times. Current and former SPLC employees have accused the organization of turning a blind eye to sexual harassment and racial discrimination from its own ranks. Cohen took responsibility for unspecified problems at the SPLC in a statement released to the Montgomery Advertiser. Cohen asked the SPLC's board to immediately launch a search for an interim president in order to give the organization a best chance to heal, according to the Advertiser. SPLC employees were long aware of racial issues and sexual harassment within the organization. Former SPLC staffer Bob Moser recounted in a scathing essay published in The New Yorker on Thursday. Moser described the SPLC as a highly profitable scam that never lived up to the values it espoused despite its portrayal to gullible donors. "We were part of the con and we knew it," Moser wrote. The SPLC is known to label pedestrian conservative organizations as hate groups, as is a key resource for Amazon, Google, and other tech companies in policing hate speech. The nonprofit recently reported more than $500 million in assets, including $121 million in offshore funds. Now, a little bit about the Southern Poverty Law Center. It's absolutely started as a very noble organization. What they originally started as, they would take cases from people who couldn't afford attorneys. And rather than have, especially if they were, now, so Morris Dees is one of the founders. I think Cohen was one of the founders too. But they were attorneys, and they went and took these cases for poor people who couldn't afford high buck attorneys, and they would go fight their cases for, and they did a really good job. I mean, they won a lot of cases. They won a lot of discrimination cases in the early 70s. They were they were an important part of the civil rights movement and the civil rights evolution. And so you know, I have nothing but respect for their original mission. And then in the 80s, they took on the Ku Klux Klan, and they won a case against the Ku Klux Klan. And then during that time, their offices were firebombed or whatever. At some point, though, they became this, well, remember when I said that a lot of these grievance grifters, they have to really overemphasize everything that their organization is there to save us from. So the SPLC became in order to raise more funds. The SPLC became a fundraising organization, and so this article in the New Yorker, really it rakes the SPLC over the coals. The Reckoning of Morris Dees and the Southern Poverty Law Center. Now, I'm not going to go through all this, but this is this article that they were talking about in the Daily Caller. And so it tells a little bit about its original, its original mission. The offices are right near Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. That's where MLK preached. This is the guy. His name is Bob Moser. He was someone who worked there, and during my first few weeks, a friendly new coworker couldn't help but laughing at my bewilderment. Because here's the thing. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped the part I wanted to read. The entrance was through an underground bunker, past multiple layers of human and electronic security. Cameras were everywhere, as the open plan office, which made me feel like a Pentagon staffer, both secure and insecure at once. But nothing was more uncomfortable than the racial dynamic that quickly became apparent. A fair number of what was then about 100 employees were African American, but almost all of them were administrative and support staff. The help. One of my black colleagues said pointedly, the professional staff, the lawyers, researchers, educators, public relations officers, and fundraisers were almost exclusively white. Just 2 staffers, including me, were openly gay. During my first few weeks, a friendly new coworker couldn't help but laughing at my bewilderment. Well, honey, welcome to the Poverty Palace, she said. I can guarantee you that you will never step foot in a more contradictory place as long as you live. Interesting. Everything feels so out of whack, I said. Where are the lawyers? Where is the diversity? What in God's name is going on here? And you call yourself a journalist, she said, laughing again. Clearly, you didn't do your research. And he goes on and on about how the whole thing is it's a fundraising organization more than it is a organization that helps, distinguished hate groups. Now, yes, they like to... Oh, Tina Chen. Interesting. That's the woman's name. Now, this is just... I didn't even notice this before. Tina Chen is the former chief of staff for Michelle Obama. And she's the one who called Kim Foxx, that's her name, Kim Foxx, who's the state's attorney in Chicago, to try to get the FBI to help with the Jussie Smollett case. And she's the one also. I'm just laughing here because, listen, I'm going to read this now. Remember that name, Tina Chen. The staffers wrote that Dees firing, the guy Morris Dees, who they got rid of, was welcome but insufficient. Their larger concern, they emphasized, was a widespread pattern of racial and gender discrimination by the center's current leadership, stretching back many years. Now, this is an organization that always pointing the finger about hate groups and hate stuff. The SPLC has since appointed Tina Chen, a former chief of staff for Michelle Obama, to conduct a review of its workplace environment. Wow, just the small circles we run in here. If Cohen and other senior leaders thought that they could shunt the blame, the riled up staffers seemed determined to prove them wrong. One of my former female colleagues told me that she didn't want to go into details of her harassment for this story because she believes the focus should be on the SPLC's current leadership. I just gotta hope your piece helps keep the momentum for change going, she said. Stephen Bright, a Yale professor and longtime SPLC critic, told me the chickens took a very long flight before they came home to roost. So this is a scathing article. Y'all need to, you probably should read this for yourself, but it goes through a little bit of the history here. But I'm going to come down to here where it says, okay, so originally they started in poverty law. And in recent years, the center had broadened its legal work, returning to some poverty law. Around 80 attorneys now work in 5 southern states, challenging, among other things, penal juvenile systems and draconian anti-immigration laws. Draconian anti-immigration laws. That's an interesting phrase. Draconian anti-immigration laws. So there are laws prohibiting immigration that are draconian? Or are they just immigration law? Are they just fighting immigration illegal? They're fighting illegal. They're helping illegal immigrants. That's what they're doing. Okay, interesting. Most notable, when I was there, a lawsuit to remove the Ten Commandments monument that was brazenly placed in the lobby of the Alabama Supreme Court building. Okay, so they're talking about some of the lawsuits. So there are people who are working there for the right reason. Where's that line? Well, anyway, if you read this, you would realize that it's a fundraiser group. Irate Prostate. My goodness, I haven't seen you for a long time. Wow, I'm good to see you. But okay, so yeah, so those two, the main two guys at the SPLC are gone now. And now I came across this. Prominent SPLC board member vanishes from website amid racism, sexism scandal. And that's Jocelyn Benson, who is a candidate for Secretary of State she is the Secretary of State now in Michigan, I believe. On Monday afternoon, Jocelyn Benson, a Michigan Democratic Secretary of State, or Michigan's Democratic Secretary of State, was listed as a member of the board of directors for the Southern Poverty Law Center, a far-left smear factory. This is PJ Media. It is a right. It is definitely a right centered media source. Currently struggling with a massive racism and sexism scandal. On Tuesday, Benson's name and profile disappeared from the website. Benson's office insisted she had left the SPLC when she became Secretary of State, but that answer does not hold up to scrutiny. This quote, upon taking office as Michigan Secretary of State, Secretary Benson informed the SPLC leadership that she would be stepping down from the board. Her responsibilities in Michigan are her priority and focus, the Office of Michigan Secretary of State told PJ Media on Twitter. That's a little tweet they got. Now, the response seems reasonable, but the SPLC's biography on Benson already listed her as Secretary of State. And this is the biography. Jocelyn Benson is the 43rd Secretary of State for the state of Michigan. The SPLC bio read on Monday afternoon. At age 35, Benson became the youngest woman to lead a top 100 law school in the U.S., or in U.S. history, serving as Dean of Wayne State University Law School from 2012 to 2016. So her bio said, anyway, I'm going to go on. The bio also mentioned her founding the Military Spouses of Michigan and her induction in the Michigan Women's Hall of Fame. She began her career as an intern and researcher in the SPLC's Intelligent Project. The bio continues. So there's the bio right there where it says all that. So the bio proved revealing on many levels. First, the fact that the SPLC proudly labeled Benson as the Secretary of State of Michigan, I can't talk today, suggests that Benson's office was lying to PJ Media in saying that the secretary stepped down from her role at the SPLC upon taking office. So now, and as it goes on, now she has an impressive history as she praises and deserves praises from both sides of the aisle. However, her history at the SPLC revealed a clear bias. The SPLC's Intelligence Project magazine spreads the far-left group's ideology, often smearing Republicans, conservatives, and Christians for hate. Recent reports have slammed Vice President Mike Pence, Republicans in Congress, including Senator Ted Cruz, in a hate goes to Washington report, and President Trump himself. Is that they? Yeah. Yeah, the hate goes to Washington report. That is just, I saw that a few weeks ago. That was just terrible. The SPLC routinely smears conservative and Christian groups as hate groups, listing them along with the Ku Klux Klan. The smear factory uses its partisan definition of hate to demonize dissent from the left's increasingly radical intersectional orthodoxy. So that's the PJ Media version of it, and I'm sticking with that myself. So, yeah, it's really interesting. So suddenly she is gone, and so that's three major people from the SPLC. They're jumping like flies, or I don't know, maybe the light went on and the cockroaches are scattering. I hate to call them cockroaches. That's rude. But anyway, that, you know, it's crazy. Whatever's happening there ain't good. I just need a sip. All right. Now, I am very, very limited on time, so let's just look at the top few quick Twitter trends like I do every day. We do Twitter trends because that's what we do here on the Morning Night Live. We try to figure out what people are going to be talking about today via Twitter. So, Dusty Smith's on a tear. Great. Dusty. My buddy Dusty, one of my frenemies. Dusty, if you're familiar with Dusty Smith, a.k.a. Cult of Dusty, Cult of Krusty, you know, he and I interact on Twitter once in a while. I helped him out once, though, because he made a major mistake. I talked about that a couple weeks ago. He made a major mistake, and I'm like, dude, you might want to take that down because... All right, let's get into a couple Twitter trends, and I got to get the hell out of here. Number one right now, oh gosh, I don't know what this means at all. Map of Soul Persona trading with Kim Namjoon, Map of Soul Persona. I have no idea what the hell. Is that some kind of album or something? It's got to be. Listen, they have been planning this since 2014. They didn't come to play. Is this just, it must be an album. His unique style is coming out through this track so much. The rap style, the lyrics, the beats, everything is RM about this. Okay, this is, oh my gosh, it's some Korean, is it a Korean dude? It's got to be K-pop something. Am I going to get in trouble for even clicking this? Okay, I have no idea who this dude is. This is the boomer in me. Da 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 da, the boomer in me. Ba da ba 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 da ga. Okay, enough of that shit. K-rap. Way to go, irate prostrate. You get the bell. K-rap. Back to Twitter trends. What the hell happened there? Okay, number 2, Wednesday wisdom. Yes, we need some wisdom today. And the top, Wednesday wisdom. Of course. It's Jussie's girl. Or what is it? I had a song about that. Jussie's world. I wish I lived in Jussie's world. In Jussie's world. I might have to add a couple verses to that one, though. How the hell did I get out of that? CNS News. All crooked roads in Chicago lead back to the Obamas. Well, yes, they do. Let's see what Michelle Malkin. Y'all know who she is. Some people love her. Some people hate her. I used to like her blog, even though I didn't agree with everything she said. She's a really good writer. Michelle Malkin, how did the hate crime huckster Jussie Smollett get away with it? All crooked roads in Chicago lead back to the Obamas. On Tuesday, part of a sealed deal. As part of a sealed deal, the Illinois State's Attorney's Office dismissed 16 felony charges brought by a grand jury against the Trump-hating actor who blamed phantom white MAGA country supporters. Remember that? MAGA country supporters for brutal racist assault that left him with a teensy-weensy scratch under his eye. The day before the attack, Smollett's two bodybuilding friends were caught on surveillance tape buying customary red hats, ski masks, bandanas, sunglasses, and gloves that just happened to match Smollett's description of what his still fugitive assailants were wearing. But I guess there's no use in crying over spilled bleach. To atone for the fakery that shall not be named, Smollett performed 18 hours, and might I say it was 18 grueling hours, of community service with Jesse Jackson's Push Coalition and forfeited his $10,000 bond. Minority liberal race baiting. Let me rephrase that. Minority liberal race hustling has its privileges. Could that be the new American Express commercial? And that brings us to the Democratic operatives behind the scenes. 2 weeks ago, the Chicago Sun-Times reporters discovered that Obama crony pal and deep-pocketed campaign finance mega bundler, Tina Chen, had inserted herself in the investigation. Chen texted Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx just 3 days after the incident on behalf of Jussie Smollett and family, who I know to express concerns. She suggested that Fox lean on Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson to yield to the FBI, and she shared an unidentified Smollett family member's cell phone number with Fox. Fox texted back that she had done as requested and that Chief Johnson was going to make the ask. The unidentified relative rejoiced, Emmanuel, oh come to me, oh Israel. The unidentified relative rejoiced. Oh my God, this would be a huge victory! Only after Fox meddled did she recuse herself and name an underling to take over. Hello, Lord Rothschild. How are you? Check your logic. If I said hello to you yet, I should have, but I don't know if I have. But I am saying it now. Hello, check your logic. Okay. I'm going to say it again. Only after Fox meddled did she recuse herself and name the underling to take over, which rendered her kabuki recusal meaningless to veteran observers of the Crook County criminal justice system. So who is the Smollett relative with all the right, or rather left, connections? Follow the trail. Chen and Smollett's sister, Jernese Smollett Bell, joined together in March 2018 at South by Southwest in Austin to proclaim that there is no time's up without women of color. In May 2018, Chen and Smollett Bell took the stage together again, hand in hand, glued at the hip, at the United States of Women's Summit in Los Angeles, where Chen's former boss and gal pal, Michelle Obama, also appeared. Smollett Bell and another sister, Jazz Smollett Worrell, worked for the Obama campaign in 2008 and in 2012 and volunteered as tireless surrogates. My search of White House visitor logs, this is Malkin speaking, shows Jernese Smollett Bell playing at least one personal visit to POTUS/FLOTUS at their residence in March 2013, while Chen was serving as a top strategist to both Obamas. Chen personally shoveled more than $200,000 into the 2008 presidential campaign coffers, while a high-powered lawyer at White Shoe Skadden Arps. That must be a law firm. I don't know. Chen served as special assistant to President Obama and then took over as chief of staff in the East Wing for Mrs. Obama. Chen headed up the Obama White House Office of Public Engagement, spearheaded by longtime Chicago pal and then fellow corporate lawyer bundler Valerie Jarrett. Chen coordinated Hollywood celebrities to promote Obama's domestic policy agenda through the taxpayer-subsidized National Endowment for the Arts. Chen was listed in 2009 White House visitor logs I reviewed as having met there with radical left-wing billionaire George Soros. Dun, dun, dun. As Breitbart's Joel Pollack noted, Soros donated a total of $408,000 to super PACs supporting Fox's successful primary and general campaigns for Cook County State's Attorney. Given Journey Smollett Bell hand-holding friendship with Chen's intimacy with the Obamas, and Michelle Obama's chumminess with Jussie Smollett, she hosted him at a musical event at the White House in 2016 and danced with him on stage at a college signing day event in 2018. It is not unreasonable to wonder how much direct knowledge of the Obamas themselves may have had about Chen's role as Smollett's fixer. Fascinating. Now, the Soros angle, but all the rest, yeah. Soros, Soros is one of those, he's like, whenever, it's kind of like how the left uses the Koch brothers and the right uses Soros. Soros spends a lot of money and is trying to do a lot of crap, but sometimes I think, his money goes a long way, but I just don't know. He's not like Dr. Evil, but he's interesting. He's an interesting character. Anyway. Chen has made quite a career of exploiting Obama connections, including cushy spots on Vice's Diversity and Inclusion Board, Uber's Me Too Advisory Board, and the Grammys Task Force for Inclusion and Diversity. But those plum jobs and a role in Smollett's folly all pale in comparison to her newest gig, which we just talked about, playing watchdog over the crumbling Southern Poverty Law Center. Man, these circles are tight. Yeah, Tommy Lawrence, a boogeyman for the left, too. After decades of manufacturing hate against peaceful, law-abiding conservatives, Sharia opponents, Christian activists, and immigration enforcement hawks, the junk mail order house that grifter Morris Dees built is in chaos amid a long brewing strife over internal gender and racial discrimination. So ironic. Not to mention a slew of outside defamation lawsuits. Fresh off assisting one celebrity hate crime huckster, Chen will now be doing damage control for the granddaddy of all racial hoax rackets. They have some very important work they do for poor people and helping poor people have attorneys going into cases that they're not, that's the problem. The Southern Poverty Law Center used to be something so important, and it can still be, and they still have that wing where they go and help poor people get legal representation when they can't afford it. The problem is the other half of the Southern Poverty Law Center, the part that makes money and how they make money. They make money. They're the ultimate grievance grifter. So, holy shit. Anyway. So she finishes up here. Like I said, minority liberal race hustling has its privileges. I would advise Americans sick and tired of the crony state and its smear merchants to do all they can to prevent Chen and the Obama's machine from getting their grubby hands on the SPLC's $500 million endowment plus $121 million in offshore accounts. Support the real victims of hate crime conspiracies. Start with defend Gavin. Okay, she's defending Gavin McGinnis. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's part of the. How far did I get into? How far did I get into trends? I got into. How far did I get? I didn't get very far, did I? Where the hell did that go? Oh, here we go. Click backwards. I got to trend number 2. We're still on Wednesday Wisdom. Oh my God. You know what? Let's do a couple more real quick. So that's the first. Okay, so what I wanted to do Wednesday Wisdom. That's number 2 today, I think. Didn't I say that already? Yeah. And so that was the top. Oh, that's already pushed from the top. Wow, it got pushed from the top quick. Anyway, here we go. Because I have to do one that's the top, which that was a few seconds ago. But you notice how that is gone, how fast that is gone. When I clicked this, that was the top Wednesday Wisdom. Do you think Twitter for 1 second is going to allow that to stay at the top? Are you kidding me? No effing way. They are not going to let Michelle Malkin be at the top. It's already gone. But here's a good one. This is a Wednesday Wisdom from Vala Offshore. Vala Offshore. I don't want to pronounce his name wrong. A healthy list. 1, get more sleep. 2, drink more water. 2, make time to exercise. 3, 4, eat less sugar. 5, stay teachable. 6, forgive first. 7, show gratitude. 8, more random acts of kindness. 9, do not respond to negativity. 10, spend quality time with loved ones. And 11, remove clutter. That kind of sounds like a Jordan Peterson list. Oh, wait, no. Please. We don't want to conflate. All right. Real quick. Number 3 is Barbara Bush. The only reason Barbara Bush is trending is because U.S. News reported Barbara Bush's new biography details her dislike of Donald Trump. If there's not something related to Donald Trump in the top 10 every day, Twitter wouldn't function. It's so funny. Every single one is talking about how she disdains Donald Trump. Everyone. Oh, except for this one. Countdown. 2 weeks from today is the publication date for my new book. At the first of 5 interviews shown below, Barbara Bush suggested title for her biography. A funny idea I didn't use. Instead, I called it The Matriarch, a word she in fact didn't like at all. So anyway, yeah. Rest in peace, Barbara Bush. I don't think she's bad luck, but I think it's hilarious that because this book comes out, everyone's talking about it because of her disdain for Donald Trump, which is fine. You don't have to like Donald Trump, but it's just that I laugh at the Trump derangement syndrome. He's on everyone's mind. Number 4 trending, procrastination in 5 words. We'll get to this one later. Next one, Jordy Nelson. He's former Packers wide receiver Jordy Nelson is retiring from the NFL. Did y'all see what I did there? Did you catch that? Oh, sometimes I'm funnier in my own mind. Number 4 trending, procrastination in 5 words. We'll come back to that one. Actually, I contributed to that one this morning. My contribution to procrastination in 5 words was I'll wait. Or it'll wait. It'll wait. Come on, somebody tell me I'm funny. Put a 1 if you think that was funny. You know that was funny. Number 7, wrong places to find love. Oh, this ought to be good. This will be our last one for today because this one should be pretty funny. Wrong places to find love. Let's check out a couple of these. Oh, in the womb. Ew. Half. Sarah. Wrong places to find love. R. Kelly's house. Wrong places to find love. On the phone at 3 a.m. with Jake from State Farm. Oh. Now this is just an ad for dollar car rental. But I think that's funny that this shows up. I'm doing wrong places to find love. I scroll down, dollar car rental. That's just funny naturally. The Catholic Church. Oh my gosh, Lord Lord Rothschild. Are you related to Lord Bear? Out of curiosity. Wrong place to find love, Twitter, but it still turned out right. Oh, Cat Funny must have found love on Twitter. Wrong places to find love in your DMs. Wrong place to find love, the family reunion. Oh my God. Oh, shh, I'm your cousin. Shh, just go with it. Or as Monkey would say, just let it happen. Wrong place to find love, the same place that you lost it. Oh, wrong place to find love with a Nigerian prince. Bitch, please. What is that supposed to mean? Oh, yeah, okay. That's what the P in P Dog Night stands for. Wrong place to find love. As I recall, Luke Skywalker was looking in Alderaan places. Oh. Oh, looking for love in Alderaan places. Wrong place to find love in the courthouse. Yeah, that's true. That's the truth. Wrong places to find love in a movie theater. Uh-oh. If you remember Pee Wee Herman, he was finding self-love in a movie theater. So that's a whole different thing. And the last couple, LinkedIn. Wrong place to find love. The Orchids of Asia Day Spa in Florida. Yeah, that's the wrong place. The Chocolate Factory. The dad jokes are really... Hey, are you talking to me? Why I oughta. All right, last couple. In jail. Well, Jussie Smollett's not going to find it in jail. In someone else's relationship. And the last one I'm going to do today... Wrong places to find love on the Titanic. That's not very cheery. But I got to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? That's a day on the Morning Night Live. That's what we do here. Whoa, what the hell? Shut up, Donald. Quiet. What is this? Oh, yeah, that article. We'll get to that one tomorrow. Mueller exposed James Comey. That's an interesting article. All right. Hey, y'all, this has been fun. This is what we do here at the Morning Night Live. We try to have some fun with the news of the day, and I get pissed off about everything that happens to do with Jussie Smollett. So that's what we do here. If you haven't been here before, or if this is your first time, make sure that right down there you hit that subscribe and hit the bell when it comes up so that you're notified when we get started. We do some random streams once in a while, but we are also here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT for people in the other parts of the world. We really enjoy, I love doing this. I love having y'all come here every day. Had a nice chat this morning. And what else? Oh, yeah, subscribe, hit the bell, share. There's an arrow down there. You can click that too. Try to share. And then and we also do donations and super chats through Streamlabs. That link's below for future reference. And hey, it's just a good time for all of us. Especially Sarah, who's bagging on me for dad jokes. I love dad jokes. I'm a dad. My kids love dad jokes. And they're in their 20s. They still love my dad jokes. I'm a funny motherfucker. Oops. Is Johnny Hellcat still here? I might be in trouble for that one. Swear jar. Anyway, I gotta go. So, thank you so much for being here. I am P Dog Knight. Thank you for showing up at the Morning Night Live. I kind of messed that up. I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Night, and I want to thank you for joining me today on the P-Dog Night channel. Before you go, if you like what you saw and you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT. A special thanks to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through our Streamlabs link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Night, and I'm out of here.